abducted youth.
Here is that report.
On social media, irate Kenyans had vowed to come out in the streets to protest against abductions. But on the streets, normalcy prevailed in all major cities and towns. In Nairobi City, police officers remained vigilant on the streets despite the absence of protesters. The situation was similar in Mombasa City, where business remained as usual as police remained alert. At Kikuyu Central SDA Church, where Ronnie Kiplagat was abducted on 21st December 2024, young Adventist professionals demanded the release of all the alleged abducted youths.
Before his abduction, Ronnie was not a government critic. He is not a politically active citizen. His only crime is being a brother to Gideon Kibet.
We are worried by the denial by the police that they did not know and still do not know who has been abducting these people. As you are aware, we pay these people with our taxes. This is our money that they spend.
Ronnie Kiplagat has since been released, but his brother Gideon Kibet is still missing. Gishu Kiwashira, Prime Edition.
Moving on, 4 missing social media users abducted on Christmas Eve have been released to their families by their unknown captors.
Billy Mwangi, Peter Muteti, Bernard Kavuli, and Ronnie Kiplagat were found alive at various locations.
It's also alleged that digital cartoonist Gideon Kibet, popularly known as Kibet Bull, has also been released.
Posts on his X page indicate he was dropped off by his abductors in Luanda, Vihiga County on Monday morning.
Stephen Bisi's whereabouts still remain unknown.
Monday morning came as a relief to some of the parents whose children went missing during the Christmas festive season last year as they were abducted by unknown people said to be security apparatus. Those freed are Billy Mwangi, Peter Muteti, Bernard Kavuli, and Ronnie Kiplagat. 24-year-old Billy Mwangi was found in Embu early morning and reunited with his family after a harrowing 15-day abduction ordeal.
Mimi ningewashukuru Wakenya wote sababu ya maombi. Ningeshukuru kanisa sababu ya maombi. Kila mtu ameniombea na akalia na mimi. Maombi yetu yote tumeisikia.
Mtoto alikuja saa 2, nisikia mtu kwa gate mtoto anaitana mama fungua. Sasa ndio nikafungua nikaona he's okay. Hapo kwingine Mungu anajua tu.
Kwanza ni kushukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya kupatikana kwa Billy Mwangi, na pia ni shukuru wananchi wa Embu kwa sababu tumepiga kelele mpaka ikasikika na ikaweza ya kwamba tumempata Billy akiwa hai.
He was abducted on December 21st, 2024 by 4 hooded men at a barber shop in Embu town. Peter Muteti, who was abducted in Kikuyu, was found in Nairobi Central Business District. Bernard Kavuli, who was abducted in Ngong, was found in Moisbridge, Kitale in Trans Nzoia County and taken to his home in Ngong and reunited with his family.
Someone has committed any mistake, then this individual must be presented before a competent court of law for formal charging or prosecution for that matter. But to have a state where we have individuals being hounded, where we have individuals getting abducted, like our friend here and our client, Mr. Bernard Kavuli, this is something that flies to the face of our current constitutional dispensation. We are condemning it in the strongest terms possible, and we are hoping that this should be the end.
Ronnie Kiplagat, who was abducted in Kikuyu, was found in Machakos County. It is alleged that his brother cartoonist Gideon Kibet, better known as Kibet Bull, has also been released by his abductors. According to his X page, Kibet was dropped in Luanda, Vihiga County early Monday morning and is expected to reunite with his family in Nakuru County. However, his family and the authorities are yet to confirm his release. The whereabouts of the 6 abductees, Stephen Bisi, are still unknown. Police spokesperson Rezila Onyango say the police are investigating the abductions. Giverson Minor, Prime Edition.
Thank you, Giverson. Now, from abductions to education matters, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos has refuted claims that the government is not well prepared to handle learners under the new system of education.
Speaking in Kajiado North Sub-County Monday while inspecting the construction of the new classrooms, Migosi assured parents of a 100% transition from primary to junior secondary school.
He further confirmed that the Ministry of Education has constructed 13,500 classrooms out of 16,000 classrooms targeted to facilitate a smooth transition.
Timothy Kipnusu is the one on that story.
Schools reopened Monday for the first term of the 2025 academic year. A spot check at a section of schools revealed that in some schools, there are few classrooms.
Open.
However, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos, while on an inspection tour of Kajiado County, defended the government's handling of the transition of students from primary to junior secondary school.
The transition is smooth, and where there are challenges, all of our field officers are actually out today to ensure that where there is a challenge, it is escalated and a solution is found, including where we are merging classes of the lower grades so that the grade 9 are not affected.
The issue of desk is a problem because they were not factored in. Na nafikiri ni muhimu tukifanya supplementary budget, we budget for lockers ili kila mtoto apate locker yake, kwa sababu kuambia mzazi arudi kwa mfuko huenda itakuwa ni shida na uwezo wao.
The CS further said at least 76,000 GSS teachers have been deployed across the country to ensure smooth learning, with the ministry roping in the primary school teachers to fill the gap in junior secondary classes in case there is any.
The teachers have also been availed. We did we've done almost 76,000 teachers for JSS, and in areas where there are not enough, there is an amalgamation of the primary teachers who are being, moved up to teach the JSS classes depending on their competencies.
The CS at the same time warned head teachers against sending learners home for lack of school fees. In the meantime, Basic Education Principal Secretary Dr. Belio Kipsang, who toured various schools within Nairobi Metropolitan, said a multi-agency team will soon be formed to assess infrastructure requirements in all schools to ensure there is no congestion.
At the end of this exercise of settling down our grade 9, we shall again have another multi-agency team who will be doing an assessment of infrastructure requirements in our schools, so that we don't only finish grade 9 and then again in a short while we are having other challenges in congestion in the lower classes.
A section of teachers and parents have, however, called on the government to move with speed to ensure learning is not paralyzed as a result of lack of basic infrastructure requirement in schools.
Especially kama wazazi, watoto wakikuja shule wanapata facilities, they are already there. But this is a good step and we really appreciate it. The government is also doing something good, because of funding all this.
Kujenga madarasa pasipo na madawati, na pia walimu wapate kuajiriwa kwa wingi ili wanafunzi wapate kunufaika.
We are also excited for new classrooms. Well, the block is not complete, but through the government and especially through the national government CDF Westlands, we received a block, a 10 classroom block that is coming up and will be nearing completion towards the end of the month.
Even as the country witnesses the pioneer cohort of the competence-based curriculum transit grade 9, the Ministry of Education is confident that the transition will be seamless without much bottlenecks. Timothy Kipnusu for Prime Edition, Nairobi.
Let's stay with matters education. Parents of learners at Yago Primary School, that's all the way up in Homa Bay County, staged a protest demanding that the immediate transfer of their head teacher, Elisha Gunga, be executed immediately.
They accused the administrator of alleged corruption and mismanagement that they claim has disrupted transition to junior secondary school.
Elsewhere, parents and directors of Gatto Integrated Development Program School are protesting the alleged changeover of the institution from private to public ownership.
Yago Primary School in Thiwa, Homa Bay County. Parents protesting inadequate infrastructure and poor learning conditions at the school. The deputy chairperson of the School Board of Management, Richard Awino, voiced concerns about a lack of transparency regarding the school's finances.
But I only wanted the head teacher to come so that he explains to the community where that money is, if it is true that he knows its whereabouts.
We have waited for quite too long to see some improvement in the performance of this school, but we have not seen anything.
Once celebrated for its academic excellence, Yago Primary School has reportedly seen a significant decline in student performance. Efforts to reach head teacher Elisha Gunga for comment have been unsuccessful. In a separate incident, parents and directors of the Gatto Integrated Development Program School in Nairobi County were left in disbelief as local administration officials stormed the institution, allegedly attempting to take over its management from a private organization.
Gatto ina run through 3 programs. Tunafanya community program, tunafanya primary school, na tunafanya post-primary education. And that is what the NGO is doing. Yeah? And we have existed here for the last 30 years, coexisted well with the Minister of Education, coexisted well with the local administration. Now, mtu kutoka nje ameleta hii vita.
I think kama shule ingeenda kwa serikali, sisi wenyewe ndio tungeenda kuongea. We are in crisis, we want ABCD.
Parents are now calling for justice and accountability in the administration of the school.
Across the borders, President William Ruto will attend the inauguration ceremony of Ghana's President-elect John Dramani Mahama in Accra.
That's right. The trip follows a special invitation extended by President-elect Mahama during his recent visit to Kenya on Sunday, December the 29th, last year, 2024.
President William Ruto recently hosted Ghana's President-elect John Dramani Mahama at his residence in Kilgoris, Narok County. During their meeting, the two leaders discussed shared prosperity and explored ways to expand opportunities for citizens of both nations. It was at this meeting that Mahama invited President Ruto to attend his inauguration. While in Accra, Ghana, President Ruto is set to engage in bilateral talks focusing on enhancing cooperation in key sectors such as trade, energy, oil, textiles, agriculture and diplomacy. Additionally, President Ruto will advocate for reforms within the African Union with an emphasis on improving institutional efficiency and strategic direction. Ghana held its presidential and parliamentary elections on Saturday, December 7th, 2024, where Mahama emerged victorious over the then Vice President Mahamudu Bawumia. Jacqueline Masharia for Prime Edition.
And back home, a recruitment agent has been arraigned in court for allegedly defrauding a man of Kenya shillings 400,000 by falsely promising to secure jobs overseas for her relatives.
The accused pleaded for leniency, saying she is expectant.
The case has attracted public attention, highlighting the plight of job seekers who recently fall prey to job placement scams.
Our reporter, Letua Debra, has the details of this story in the Scales of Justice segment.
The accused Faith Cherotich Ngeno was charged before Nairobi Senior Principal Magistrate Gilbert Shikwe with intent to defraud. It is alleged that on 23rd March 2023 in Nairobi, she fraudulently obtained Kenya shillings 400,000 from Elijah Kimenja Rop under the pretense of securing job opportunities in Qatar and Australia for his nephew and niece, Wilton Cheriot and Azanat Cheptoo. Cherotich, knowing the claims to be false, denied the charges and pleaded with the court for lenient bail terms, citing her pregnancy. The court released her on cash bail of Kenya shillings 50,000 or an alternative bond of Kenya shillings 100,000. The pre-trial hearing is set for 3rd February 2025.
Bond of 100,000, surety similar amount, or a cash bail of 50,000 with one contact person.
Meanwhile, Benjamin Mulo Muyo was charged with obtaining over Kenya shilling 6.6 million under pretense by claiming he could sell 1 acre plot of land in Syokimau. The alleged offense occurred between July 2022 and April 2023, targeting 3 victims, Siratho Mohamed Abdi, Abdullahi Ahmed Rubal, and Abdullahi Mohamed Hassan. Appearing before Principal Magistrate Gilbert Shikwe, the accused denied the charges. The court released him on a bond of Kenya shillings 500,000 or cash bail of Kenya shillings 200,000 with 1 contact person. The pre-trial is set for 3rd February 2025.
On the 3rd of February, for pre-trial directions, a bond of 500,000 surety similar amount or cash bill of 200,000 shillings with 1 contact person.
Also, in a separate matter, Duncan Chengo, a Nairobi-based physiotherapist, appeared before Senior Principal Magistrate Gilbert Shikwe, charged with threatening to kill. The accused denied the charges, and the court granted him a cash bail of Kenya shillings 50,000 or an alternative bond of Kenya shillings 100,000 with 1 contact person. The case is scheduled for mention on 3rd February 2025, with 4 witnesses lined up to testify. Finally, former Muhoroni MCA Karen Achino Moga was arrested in Kapsabet, Nandi County, after her son was linked to the brutal murder of Enoch Kipsang, believed to involve organ harvesting. Karen was caught fleeing and arraigned in court, where she was detained for 4 days as investigations continues. The case will be heard on January 10, 2025.
Hereby allow the presented motion and grant the high ho applicant 4 more days to hold the respondent at Kapsabet Police Station for purposes of facilitation and completion of investigations into the subject matter. Additionally, the respondent is hereby accordingly ordered to be escorted to Kapsabet County Referral Hospital for her mental assessment. Mentioned on 10th January for further orders and for closure of this motion.
Therefore, a manhunt is underway for other suspects after another victim, Victor Kimtai, was killed by mob after confessing and revealing the location of the victim's body parts. Letua Debra for Prime Edition.
From the corridors of justice, back to the studios here at Broadcasting House in Nairobi, Kenya.
Coming up, the county of Mombasa has deployed community health promoters across the region.
Coming up, you stay with us.
Christmas ni sahi ishafika na ni kubwa kubwa. Kwani hii Kristi ni bomba na Blue Santa kupitia star 570 hash option 1. Rudia. Star 570 hash option 1. Iko PlayStation 5 na 55 TV na iko 500,000 Kenyan shillings. Nambuzi moja. Nambuzi. 1 million Kenyan shillings na Samsung S24 Ultra. Nambuzi moja. Iko 2 million Kenyan shillings na iPhone 16 Pro Max. Nambuzi mbili. Blue Santa amekuja na zawadi kibao. Nani kubwa hapa kuna ndogo ndogo. Hapa Christmas ni bomba.
Una hakika ni mume wangu bora? Si karibu amemtaja. Na alikuwa katika mazingira gani akimtaja?
Wewe kutokusoma kumekukosea sana. Haya, huu upuzi umefundishwa na nani?
Ni kuhusu mimba ya Karembo.
Ni nani? Hebu toka nje.
Nipeleke kwa kina Karembo. Karembo nani? Utanipeleka ama? Basi ngoja. Sina muda Nuru. Kama wanipeleka nipeleke, kama uwezi niambie uwezi.
Welcome back to Prime Edition, our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook and YouTube. Continue interacting with us on our pages. Tom?
And we hope to read some of your feedback at the tail end of this broadcast. Now, the county government of Mombasa has deployed 2,500 community health promoters across the country to spearhead the rollout of the Social Health Authority SHA at the grassroots level.
Speaking during the launch of the mass registration exercise, Mombasa Governor Abducted Nasir noted that only 264,000 persons have registered under the new medical insurance.
He emphasized the need to onboard more residents to ensure access to affordable and also comprehensive healthcare services.
The rollout of the new Social Health Authority has continued to gain traction, with the county government of Mombasa deploying 2,500 community health promoters across the county to assist with the registration of the individuals under the new medical insurance scheme.
Wale watu ambao wamekuwa registered kwa members wa SHA ni watu 264,000. Leo na kesho mutafanyiwa training. Muelezewe jinsi ya kuweza kuregister wale watu kwa zaidi.
Kaunti ya Mombasa ndio itakuwa kaunti ya kwanza kutuma CHPs wakasaidie wananchi wetu kujisajili, wakawasaidie kuongeza watoto wao, kuongea familia zao, kuwaongeza hapo, na pia wasaidie ile tunaita means testing.
Speaking during the launch of the Social Health Authority mass registration exercise, Mombasa Governor Abducted Nasir also declared that his administration will not renew the licenses for private pharmacies operating near public hospitals. He claimed that patients were being directed to purchase medicines from private outlets, despite the availability of adequate supplies in public health facilities.
I've given instructions. We are not renewing leseni za watu wenye kuuza madawa nje ya hospitali. Juzi nilikuwa niko Coast General. There are almost 10 pharmacies outside there. That means those people thrive on a public facility not being able to perform. Mimi nilienda Likoni Hospital with the CC, na tukifika pale unaambiwa ya kwa mgonjwa ameambiwa ya kwa ati dawa hakuna, na tukifungua kabati tunaona dawa ziko pale.
President Ruto's economic advisor Moses Kuria reassured community health promoters that any outstanding arrears owed to them will be cleared by the end of the week.
Nataka kuhakikishia kwamba hata wale 40 na kitu ambao wamebaki kwa malipo ya Disemba, ikifika mwisho wa wiki hii itakuwa pia imelipwa na nitafuatilia hayo. Na nirudie vile niliambia viongozi wenu, kabla ya mshahara yangu kulipwa, kabla ya governor kulipwa, kabla ya Rais William Ruto kulipwa, mshahara ya CHPs itakuwa inalipwa kwanza. Lazima maslahi yenu tuangalie.
He further disclosed plans to digitize healthcare services nationwide, with Mombasa said to be the first county to adopt the new digital systems.
Kuanzia kesho, wahudumu, madaktari, clinical officers, nurses wetu 1,300 kila mtu analetewa kidude ya kompyuta na wote watakuwa wanawatibu kupitia kwa kompyuta, na hiyo ni kaunti ya kwanza.
For Prime Edition, I'm Abdulaziz Abeid.
Let's take it to the counties now. 3 people died while several others were injured in a road accident involving 2 matatus along the Murang'a-Kenol Highway on Monday morning.
Elsewhere, police in Laikipia County are investigating the brutal murder of an elderly woman in Gattundia town that's in Laikipia County.
Details of this and other stories in our county's news roundup.
According to survivors and eyewitnesses, a Murang'a shuttle matatu heading to Nairobi collided head-on with a Nakon Sacco matatu heading to Murang'a. Those injured were rushed to Murang'a Level 4 Hospital, and the 3 bodies were taken to the mortuary in the same facility.
Sasa tukifika Murang'a, driver alikuwa ameva speed ya Nakons, akashindwa kudhibiti hiyo gari, ikagonga hii ingine. Sasa hapo ndio tukafurika ikaingia kwa mto.
Elsewhere, police in Laikipia County are investigating the brutal murder of an elderly woman at her home in Gattundia town by unknown assailants. The deceased Lucy Wanjiru Ndungu's mutilated body was discovered by her husband Wilson Ndungu.
Tuna uhakika kwamba watatufikia, Mungu atawasaidia wafikie hawa wahalifu. na Mungu ndiye tunaomba na ndiye tunategemea.
And Uasin Gishu County Government has received a medical supplies consignment from the Kenya Medical Services Authority that will help address shortage of drugs and enhance services in the healthcare facilities in the county.
I want to assure you that whatever we are doing for the people of Uasin Gishu and for the glory of God. Do you have an idea that we are coming up with a diagnosis center here and you have put 200 million to start off? Just here, about 200 million.
Finally, Laikipia County Governor Joshua Irungu has pledged to improve healthcare services in the county. Governor Irungu was speaking after visiting the Nyahururu County and Referral Hospital's maternity wing, where he also donated New Year gifts to mothers who delivered at the facility.
Kina mama wanaongezeka hata ingawa tulitoka kwa 30 capacity na sasa tumekuja 60 hapa, but lakini bado tunaona it is 100+ occupancy. Ni kwa sababu services, huduma ni mzuri, na kwa hivyo tunaambia tu akina mama bado waendelee na kukuja, nasi kama serikali tunaendelea na kufanya kuongezea services kule kwingine.
Welcome to Business News, and this is a big one. The Kenya Leather Industrial Park in Kenani, Machakos County, which is nearing completion, is set to be officially commissioned in March this year. Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, while inspecting the ongoing works at the plant, said electricity and water connections, as well as deployment of permanent policing services, are being expedited to meet the deadline. Here is that report.
Kenya targets to leverage the leather industry to create over 100,000 jobs. Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki says the government is establishing the Kenya Leather Industrial Park in Kenani, Machakos County as one of the interventions for value addition in manufacturing to push up the annual contribution of the leather industry from the current 15 billion shillings to 175 billion shillings.
If we are able to adjust the production and marketing of the hides and skins of our cattle, we can inject fresh resources into our economy.
The Kenya Leather Industrial Park is scheduled for completion in March this year. Professor Kindiki says final touches are being done to ensure the project is completed within the set deadlines.
His Excellency the President directed that this facility be ready by 31st of March this year. We are trying our best, the various state departments and ministries, because there is a Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, but also the Ministry of Investment, Promotion, Trade and Industry, and we are working hard to make sure that we deliver.
So far, he says a common user facility of effluent treatment plants to treat water for manufacturing leather is already complete. The effluent treatment plant will clean effluent from the EPZ factories on Mombasa Road and Athi River and from the leather factories based at the Kenya Leather Industrial Park. The leather industry accounts for 1.5% of Kenya's gross domestic product. Nduta Mokami for Prime Edition.
In other developments, Kenya Airways shares touched a high of 6 shillings per share and a low of 3 shillings and 45 cents on its first day of resuming trading at the Nairobi Securities Exchange after about 5 years. At the close of trading, 173,400 shares of the national carrier, which opened at 3 shillings and 83 cents and closed at 4 shillings and 5 cents, had been traded. Here is that report.
The government announced plans to nationalize Kenya Airways to make it more competitive, prompting suspension of its shares from trading on the Nairobi Securities Exchange on 2nd of March 2020. However, the plan was abandoned in 2021 amid the COVID-19 pandemic that negatively impacted the travel and hospitality industry. After nearly 5 years, trading of Kenya Airways shares resumed at the Nairobi Securities Exchange on Monday. In a statement, Nairobi Securities Exchange said, and I quote, "The suspension on the trading of Kenya Airways shares was lifted following the company's recent performance, which saw the company record a profit after tax, and the withdrawal of the National Aviation Management Bill 2020, end of quote." Data from the Nairobi Securities Exchange shows that shares opened for trading at 3 shillings and 83 cents, then touched a low of 3 shillings and 45 cents and a 7-year high of 6 shillings per share before retreating to close for trading at 4 shillings and 5 cents. This means the Nairobi Securities Exchange muted a rule requiring temporary suspension of trading of shares of any listed company that surpasses an intraday price change of more than 10%. This was to allow Kenya Airways shares to do their price discovery without restrictions. Frederick Mwoki for Prime Edition.
Glad you're watching Prime Edition. We are taking a breather. When we return, we'll be telling you a report on Capital Markets Authority for 2024, and we'll be bringing this with the details and clarity you deserve. Stay with us.
Star 570 hash. Option 1 kuna PS5 na ni full package na inakuja na JBL Party Box. Hiyo boom experience pia iko.
On KBC Channel 1, we are a TV station like no other. Get a taste of the best in entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Feel the passion.
Will you promise me?
I swear that you will never lose me. I can't get married to you.
I'm sure you knew about it. That's why you're making fun of me.
Experience the drama.
Get out.
Who is the man in this one?
And the laughter.
Hii wigi umevaa kichwani. Kile wakati tulikuwa tunaapishwa tunapewa mheshimiwa.
Move to the beat.
We are live from Broadcasting House.
And get informed on the latest happenings. KBC Channel 1.
Wow. Yeah!
We are the full package.
Oh, yes.
And Kenya's watching.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Welcome back. The Capital Markets Authority has granted listed companies a 1-year extension to comply with capital markets public offers, listings and disclosures regulations of 2023 in relation to appointment of independent directors and non-executive directors. The Capital Markets Authority says the decision is in recognition that adjusting board composition to align with the updated requirements is a time-intensive process requiring careful planning to maintain continuity and avoid disruptions to strategic initiatives.
The Capital Markets Public Offers, Listings and Disclosures Regulations of 2023, which came into effect on 15th December 2023, revised definitions for independent directors and non-executive directors, impacting the compliance status for listed companies, new listings and initial public offers and persons offering or marketing securities to the public in Kenya. However, compliance has been slow, with the listed companies individually applying to the Capital Markets Authority for compliance extensions. In its latest report on the state of corporate governance practices of issuers of securities to the public in Kenya 2024, The Capital Markets Authority says it has offered listed companies a 1-year extension to comply with the updated requirements. The Capital Markets Authority says the revisions were informed by the need to mitigate risks associated with director entrenchment and foster a culture of accountability with boardrooms. Here, directors are continuously motivated to challenge the status quo and uphold the high standards of corporate governance. Alanauko, Prime Edition.
Further afield in the world of business, the first congestion charge scheme for vehicles in the U.S. has come into effect in New York City. Car drivers will pay up to $9 a day with varying rates for other vehicles. This and more in our international business news roundup.
The system, which has been in operation since midnight Sunday, New York Times has seen 400 lanes of traffic covered by more than 1,400 cameras, with more than 110 detection points and more than 800 signs. The congestion zones covers an area south of Central Park, taking in such well-known sites as the Empire State Building, Times Square, and the financial district around Wall Street. The scheme aims to ease New York's notorious traffic problems and raise billions for the public transport network. Meanwhile, confidence among UK firms has slumped as they face a pressure cooker of rising costs and taxes, according to the business group British Chambers of Commerce. The group said its survey of more than 4,800 firms suggested confidence had fallen to its lowest level for 2 years. Nearly two-thirds told the BCC they were worried about taxes following the budget, which announced a rise in national insurance contributions paid by firms from April, and more than half expect to rise prices in the next 3 months. The strength of the UK economy has come under focus following the release of disappointing growth figures just before Christmas. Finally, Microsoft is planning to invest about $80 billion in fiscal 2025 on developing data centers to train artificial intelligence models and deploy AI and cloud-based applications, the company said in a blog post on Friday. Investment in AI has surged since OpenAI launched ChatGPT in 2022 as companies across sectors seek to integrate artificial intelligence into their products and services. AI requires enormous computing power, pushing demand for specialized data centers that enable tech companies to link thousands of chips together in clusters. Microsoft has been investing billions to enhance its AI infrastructure and broaden its data center network. Analysts expect Microsoft's fiscal 2025 capital expenditure, including capital leases, to be $84.24 billion, according to Visible Alpha.
From the world of business to sports, and Bernardo Kumu Okoch is on standby. Stay with us.
Ni sahi ishafika na ni kubwa kubwa. Kweli? Hii Kristi ni bomba na Blue Santa kupitia star 570 hash option 1. Rudia. Star 570 hash option 1. Iko PlayStation 5 na 55 inch TV na iko 500,000 Kenyan shillings.
Nambuzi moja?
Nambuzi. 1 million Kenyan shillings na Samsung S24 Alpha.
Nambuzi moja?
Iko 2 million Kenyan shillings na iPhone 16 Pro Max.
Nambuzi mbili.
Blue Santa amekuja na zawadi kibao. Nani kubwa hapa kuna ndogo ndogo. Hapa Christmas ni bomba.
Glad for joining us on Prime Edition Sports. I'm Bernard Okumu. Let's begin with soccer now, where Harambee Stars will be hunting their first win in the Mapinduzi Cup when they take on Kilimanjaro Stars in their second game tomorrow in Zanzibar. Now Stars played a 1-1 draw with Burkina Faso in their first match on Saturday.
Harambee Stars have been boosted by the arrival of Gor Mahia's Austin Odhiambo, Sylvester Owino, Alfonso Meja and Rooney Onyango ahead of their second game against Kilimanjaro Stars. According to head coach Francis Kimanzi, the team is optimistic to make a podium finish as they eye to share in the forthcoming CHAN tournament, which will be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania in February.
We are very positive about them. We are encouraging them more. We know that they need to improve a lot, on controlling their emotional excitement, within the game when they are leading. Because I believe also the next match they are capable of scoring. So it's only about how do we manage the game when we score.
Stars are using the Mapinduzi Cup tournament as a curtain raiser for the coming continental assignment.
The most important thing is for us to know that competition kama hizi, if we continue working hard and being smart also, we can move forward as a team.
For Prime Edition Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Definitely, we are rooting for Stars in their second match of the Mapinduzi Cup tomorrow. Moving on, the Kenya national under-19 cricket team, the Kenya Power Hitters, were crowned champions of the under-19 T20 Cricket Championship after beating Indian Blasters by 63 runs in the final played last evening in Noida, India. Now, in the thrilling final, the Kenya Power Hitters posted a solid score of 195 runs for 5 in the allocated 20 overs. Kenya then restricted Indian Blasters to 132 runs all out in 17.3 overs, taking the title by an impressive 63 runs. At 12-6 teams took part in the tournament, which began on Monday last week. The other teams in the tournament were Sri Lanka Lions, Nepal Everest Eagles, Indian Stars and Barbados Select. And to golf now, where Mariam Wakitawa maintained her position at the top of the leaderboard in the girls 15 to 18 years category in the NCB Invitational Tournament at the Windsor Golf and Country Club in Nairobi. After playing 5 over par 79 in round 1 to top the charts, Wakitawa played 5 shots better, an impressive 2 over par 74, the best score of the day. She was tied at the top with Audrey Gashora, who also shot 2 over par 74. In the overall scores, Wakitawa is leading with a score of 9 over par 153. Audrey Gashora, who played 8 over par 80 in the first round, has moved to the second position with a score of 10 over par 154, only 1 stroke behind Wakitawa. Shanshwat Harish remains the man to beat in the boys 13 to 14 years category as he once again shot 2 under par 70 for the second round. This is an identical score to the first round as he now leads with a score of 4 under par 140 going into the final round. The NCB Invitational has attracted more than 116 golfers from 10 countries in Asia, Africa and Europe. The event is crucial as it will count for order of merit of points for non-handicapped and handicapped boys and girls between 15 to 18 years old in the Kenyan Junior Golf Foundation system for the year 2024. It's also an event where they will earn World Amateur Golf Ranking points. And La Masia defeated TED Soccer Academy 2-1 in the final of this year's Mngaro Mtaani Soccer Tournament held at Lucky Summer Grounds here in Nairobi. The tournament, in its 5th edition, attracted 16 teams. TED Soccer was unlucky for the second time running after falling by 2-1 to the plucky La Masia Academy. Manuel Starlets narrowly edged out Treehouse by a 1-0 to win the third-place playoff match. A total of 16 teams took part in the tournament held to promote inclusivity in the communities.
What we are doing is trying to just mentor young people. You know, it has been a very long holiday for the young people, and we are trying to bring them back and telling them that they should be very focused with their lives. And this is like a mentorship program for them. We are doing this. It's dubbed gender equality and sports for development.
This year has been more competitive because last year it was under 13. This time we decided that it's going to be at least under 15 for both boys and girls. And, in that age, there is so much talent, especially in this Eastland part of Nairobi.
Finnish ambassador to Kenya, Perka Tapiola, who graced the tournament, praised efforts being done by non-state actors in uplifting talents at the grassroots.
There are a lot of young people. There are a lot of people who fight for opportunities, who fight for scholarships to go forward in life. And I think that through sports, through other things, we can support them fulfill their dreams and maybe get further in life. And that's very, very important.
And further afield, where Saudi driver Yazid Al-Raji held on to his overnight lead to win the second stage of the Dakar 2025 rally on Monday. The 43-year-old, racing in his home country, completed the 907-kilometer special stage spread over 2 days in 10 hours, 56 minutes and 54 seconds, despite a 2-minute penalty for speeding. He was followed by South African Henk Latigan, with Nasser Al-Attiyah finishing third. 9-time World Rally champion Sebastian Loeb, who is still looking for his first Dakar rally victory, was half an hour behind at the camp on Sunday evening after a fan problem caused his engine to overheat. But the Frenchman had a better Monday, making up much of the deficit to finish 7th, 13 minutes and 10 seconds behind the leader. And to some more reactions from yesterday's match between Liverpool and Manchester United, where Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk does not believe teammate Trent Alexander-Arnold's poor performance against Manchester United was because the right back was impacted by talk about his future. Of course, he's linked to going to Real Madrid. Alexander-Arnold gave the ball away prior to United taking the lead at Anfield on Sunday and struggled in the 2-2 Premier League draw before being replaced by Conor Bradley after 86 minutes.
Liverpool absolutely inevitable. It's another Mohamed Salah moment for Liverpool, and he responds as he always does.
And indeed, an encouraging performance for Manchester United and Ruben Amorim, but surely Maguire should have won it for Manchester United. But that's how I leave it.
Thank you, Bernardo Kochokumo. Yes, indeed. He did say Maguire should have. So that simply means he did.
Tom, let me recognize and give acknowledgements to a few people talking to us on our social media pages. John Dego Mwangi, Fred Minor, Johnson Clover, Dennis Mugo, watching all the way from Moranga. Thank you so much, and many, many more who are tuned in to KBC Channel 1.
I've seen you for the first time since
Happy New Year, Tom.
The New Year, so it's only fair to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
And to them as well.
Happy New Year for being there for us, and we're looking forward to a great 2025 together.
Oh, it's going to be great. No doubt about that. Well, on behalf of the Prime Edition team, I want to thank you for watching. We will be back again tomorrow. My name is Mboya.
I am Muchuma Odim. Our sign language expert tonight is Anwangeshi. Good night.
Good night. God bless you.
In Lagos, Nigeria. And would you believe me if I told you that this country has over 300 ethnic groups? That's crazy to think about. And with that comes over 500 languages, making this one of the most diverse countries in the world. But that diversity can sometimes